Everybody's Chris over at Dixieland Farm, and let me tell you, this is August 2020. This has just been a horrible month. Horrible month. So many bad things have happened this month, and some of them have been, you know, personal related, and then some of them are equipment related. So this is a bush hog brand bush hog. That's like calling when you're photocopying something Xerox, right? It's synonymous what it is. People will call it a brush hog or a rotary mower. So a big disc that gets transferred here by the gearbox here, and the gearbox has cracked, as you can see. Probably my fault. Maybe I've not been oiling it. I don't know. I really just don't know. So a new bush hog, you know, back when I was looking around for, you know, tractor equipment, was like 20 years ago. So the thing was like 900 bucks. This is now 1,800 bucks, not even for a bush hog brand, for a lesser brand. Gearbox was $300. So of course we're going to try to fix the gearbox. Got a replacement, but the nut that holds it on apparently is real hard to get off, so we'll just have to see. So I'm going to try to drag this thing because I don't want to have to take the implement that I've got on the tractor off just to put it back on, because Marissa wants me to drag the ring because I think she has a clinic here tomorrow, so have to do that as well. Yeah, hopefully it'll just come off like a snap, but we won't know until we get into it, so let's get into it. Alright, so I got the tractor on charger because when I do the hazards, you hear it clicking. So let's see if giving it a little juice is going to help. And my worry about this thing being stuck, because I watched videos of this thing where a guy actually took a chain and just constantly pulled it. Another one had to buy a special tool. Well, the castle nut came right off. Zero it, and then this thing is actually already pulling, so I'm just going to yank it off, and hopefully it'll just be a simple fix. We'll see. Alright, so we did pretty good. So this thing is called the stump jumper. When you hit a rock, it'll kind of like rotate and push the whole bush hog out of the way so you don't ruin the blades, but of course I've already ruined the blades. There's plenty of rocks out here. We can see we got rust, but bolts in the gearbox come out now. So I was hoping to get a socket in there, but the problem is clearance is not great for my air wrench. But actually these things are kind of loose as it is, so maybe I'll get lucky. So big wrench to the rescue. Well, the good news is I got the tractor started. It wasn't the battery so much as the wiring. Got a short, or very tiny short in it, because you jiggle the wires, eventually you get it going. So that's good. That means I can still drag the ring. As for the bush hog, I need another set of hands, so it's going to have to wait. Still working on the bolts here, and ended up having to use the grinder on it, and so I'm going to hit it with a hammer and split it. So we're able to get one of them off, actually two of them off. But yeah, they had done some welding in here, so it's kind of hard to put the wrench on it or the socket, so this is basically the only way. If you're playing at home, this is my fourth shirt that wrecked. So drag the ring, beautiful job. Turns out there isn't a clinic here tomorrow. Marissa needs it for teaching. Then I had to fix the fence. So last night we noticed that the fence wasn't quite working, and there's a little section where there's like this one wire jumper, and that one wire jumper was bad. Last night I was out there for an hour and I just didn't see it, and it just didn't make sense. But in the daylight I could see, yep, 1/4 inch, little cut. Went out there, fixed it, but then noticed all the other things that were broken, so spent an hour fixing that. Fence is all good. Be good and shocking, so that's the important thing. Spend an hour doing the bush hog, trying to get the one or the two bolts cut, and it's just taking forever. The bolts are, maybe they're category 8 bolts, because it's taken a lot to grind them, and I've gone through like 4 or 5 Sawzall blades. Just the grinder wheel is the only thing that seems to work, and you know, even like I've got like 1/8 of the bolt left, and I still can't crack it. So I figured time well spent. Unpack this, just double check. And it freaked me out because this thing was covering the splines, and I'm like, oh no, is this thing actually not going to work? But no, the splines are there. This should work. Also, the horse is freaked out seeing this thing flipped upside down. The other issue is heat from the sun is making all the metal hot, so burning my hands as I do this. So I'm trying to hide stuff in the shade so it doesn't get too hot. But the sun is brutal, being late August. All right, finally got it off, but some of the plate is cracked a bit, but I'm going to be using washers, so that should spread the load and then clamp down. I think it'll be fine. Good morning. So last night we were trying to put the gearbox on and realized the welds are in the way when they tack welded it down. Rest in peace, little grinder. Died just towards the end, and you can see I certainly got my value out of it, and luckily the grinds are pretty good. I think enough to get the gearbox on like I need. So I'm going to go to Tractor Supply, get some longer bolts, and get some paint. And I'll go to Harbor Freight this week and pick up a new grinder. And I got to time this out so that way I can go get lunch, because Marissa's right now riding, and she's going to come back from her lesson and she'll be hungry, and so will I. Hold me closer, tiny grinder. Oh, it's hot. It's really hot right now. Oh, I gotta put it down. Oh, ow, ow, ow. Later in the day, so it's a little bit cooler, and another shirt. So third shirt today, third pair of underwear, second pair of shorts. Got to use one extra use out of the shorts. Hopefully that won't interfere with anything. I don't think it will, and that should help hold the gearbox in. So Chris and I are going to get to it. 10 minutes of work already. But without Marissa, we wouldn't have been able to get it done. Finally back on. Looking good. Proud that it's on there. Looks like it's going to hold just fantastic.
I feel a little bit like we robbed them of seeing how my awesome idea to flip it over worked.
You did great.
I'm really the idea person more than the you know, the muscle. There it is.
I weep for your oil. I promise you, you'll see the next day when it's all done, and provided it's working. If it's not working, you'll never see this video. So the fact that you're seeing this video means it worked. Well, another day, and we have a bush hog wheel to put on to finalize the repair, since the bush hog wheel that was on there it's bad. But take a look at the outside of the package. Now, grease me before you use me. Words of advice for life. So you can see this wheel is just ready to go. Also, this wheel is ready to go. I'm going to have to fill that up with air real quick. So this bolt here is not the right size. I just put it in place because that's what I had on hand at the time. So I'm going to fix that now that I have the correct size bolt. Good as new, and as you saw, I had to use the Sawzall to cut it. I was in danger of like cracking my knuckles because the thing was rounded over so much, so it's easier just to cut it. As you can see, I could already use a new shirt because the sun's brutal. Hope you enjoyed this video, but before I say goodbye, does it in fact mow? Let's go find out. I'm going to sign off now from Dixieland Farm. Take care. Let's go see.